Hello, good morning, and hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Fancy Football. My name is Omo Fields, and today's our once more it's our transfer podcast or transfer talk on Fancy Football. Uh, uh, we'll be bringing you lots of transfer news from Victor Osimhen, Arsenal, Man United, Sancho, Zirkzee. Will update you, and some other transfers have just gone through from Aston Villa. Like I said, Aston Villa have been doing magnificently very well in the transfer market recently, and they've not had any dull moments so far. So good in the transfer market. They've been selling players and buying players and doing their business because they're in the Champions League and they have to spend. The money will come in, they have to spend, and they also have to sell as well. So to balance the equation for them. Okay, when let's just take a deep breath now. Currently, let's take a deep breath and let's dive into the transfer nitty-gritty for today. With this short break. Okay, there's no other place to start than from Italy today. And yesterday we had this news that was coming up that says that Napoli have slashed the asking price for Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen, we know that he signed a new deal 3 months ago with Napoli, or an extended deal 3 months ago in Napoli that has a buyout clause of 135 million euros or thereabouts. People were saying he was overpriced, but every player has a price. He led Napoli to the Scudetto two seasons ago, and that is why the Napoli president and the hierarchy decided that he he should have this price tag on this. But nobody's coming to buy him now. People are saying that he's overhyped. People are saying that he's overpriced. But like I always said, every player has a price in the transfer market. Now, the asking price currently for Victor Osimhen is 100 million euros. Take it or leave it. Napoli needs that money. They need to sell to buy to buy more players for Antonio Conte, and they know that 100 million euros invested in that Napoli team is I think is a big deal. Would take them far. And there are also news out there that Kavita Kvaratskhelia will also want to leave the club. So that means you sell your top striker and sell one of your top players. You are coming in with close to 150 million euros into the market. But let's see. Initially, does Victor Osimhen really worth 130 or 250 million euros? That's a question I also want to ask. Does he worth that amount? Because if you look at, let's just go through. Does he really worth 150 initially? I don't know what informed Napoli to put that asking price for him. Yes, he won the Scudetto for you guys, but there are other things that warrant a player to cost a certain amount. There are other things, not just you winning the Scudetto for you and scoring 20 plus goal. Has he done it season in, season out? That's the question. But like I always say, every player has a price. Every player has a price. It depends on what the club feel this is the certain price for this player. So let me see with regards to that news of Victor Osimhen. Okay, Napoli striker Victor Osimhen is looking to leave the club this summer, and Gele have reported that a slash in his price has been made. Initially, the player worth 126 million pounds, or thereabout 160 million euros, or 60 million euro, or 150 million euros, or $160 million price tag. Now, Osimhen has a price tag of 100 million euros, 84 million pounds on his head now. Now, Calcio Mercato are the people reporting this story now. Calcio Mercato is a very reliable news outlet. in Italy, especially when it comes to player by player transfer. They are very, very reliable. There have been disagreement issues between Osimhen and Napoli, especially when that controversial issue happened between the club and the player. And it seems that that was the stroke that broke the camel's back. Osimhen wanted to leave the club. Now, we don't really know what is really going on between Osimhen and Napoli, but all we know that the player wants out of Napoli. The player don't want to continue with Napoli, and he's looking for that way out. So we don't really we have to know, because like I said, for Napoli, Osimhen is a price asset. For 150 million euros is good money. But how many clubs have 150 million euros to cough out? There are very few in the market, and even those fewer clubs have moved away from signing big player money, or money with big player money. They've moved away from that. What they do is that they look for young players and develop them now, and that is what is going on in football. How old is Osimhen? 25, 26 years old. I just think that for 150 million euros, as a buyout clause for him was just too much. But even 100 million euros is even too much. I don't know what you think. Tell me what you think about this slashing price. 150 million euros is much, and 100 million euros is still much. How many clubs can afford that? We heard that Arsenal are also interested in the deal. Can they come up with something? Can they conjure something out of it to see if they can get Osimhen? We also heard that other clubs around Europe are sniffing around Napoli for his signature. For example, Paris Saint-Germain. He has played in France before for Lille. I think he can still do well for Arsenal. He can still do well for PSG if the price is right. PSG can afford him, but PSG also have to sell. They didn't sell Mbappe. They let him go, so they have to sell. So all these issues, left, right, center, has to come in. They have to play a very vital part for the deal to happen, if any club are interested. Now, the question is, to you people watching me out there, is Victor Osimhen overpriced? Is this transfer figure 100 million euros now that is the current price in the market? Does it reflect the ability, the capacity, and the talent of this player, of this Nigerian international? Does it really reflect? Is something we need to sit down and look at the numbers, and we know the numbers. We know what the numbers were last season. We know where the numbers were 2 seasons ago when they won the Scudetto. So it is left for Napoli to look for that buyer. It is left for them to get the bargaining price that suits the club as it is for that player, so that they can maximize that transfer fee they've gotten from Osimhen, and make ensure that they can booster the club for Antonio Conte. And we know Conte how he operates. They can booster that club for Conte and see what will happen at the end of the day. So tell me, let me just put the question out there for you. Does Victor Osimhen worth 100 million euros? Just let me know. So for those that are watching us now, kindly subscribe, like, and share our videos, please. It's very, very important. Subscribe, like, and share our video. And if you do that, it will go a long way to help Fancy Football. It will go a long way to develop this channel for you, and we'll bring you more exciting stories as they come. And we'll talk about them, we'll analyze them, we'll break them down on the Transfer Talk show. Okay, quickly, let's go from Osimhen. Let's look at other stories quickly, because we have no time. Arsenal interested in signing Real Sociedad midfielder Mikel Merino. Okay, this is not the first time. We know that Arsenal interested in Zubimendi. We also know that Arsenal are interested in Mikel Merino. We know that. So I don't know, between Zubimendi and Mikel, which one has, because Arsenal also needs to boost that midfield, whether they like it or not. Declan Rice alone cannot do the job, but Arsenal needs to boost that midfield and get players that can really take them to the next level. That's what I think. That's what or how I think they should go about their business as well. They need to boost that midfield. They need to get players that will help them challenge Manchester City next season if they have the will and the firing power to do that. So they need to boost that. So and Mikel fits that bill as a player. He fits the bill. We've seen his the number of tackle passes, interceptions that he has. Sorry, I don't have the graphics here, but I just think that this lad fits that bill. And if you look at how much will he command in the market, close to 60 million euros, 60 to 70 million euros. Can Arsenal afford that money? Because for every transfer that happens, it's about affordability. It's not about the player's talent now, because the player talent is not in question. The player's tenacity is not in question. It's about affordability. Can you afford that deal if you're going to that transfer? Because definitely the selling club will set that asking price or that selling price for you. I want 50 million euros for this player. I want 40 million euros for this player. But can the buying club afford it as they are going to do? Definitely, if you are going into the market, I bet you have to go into that transfer. You have to go into the transfer market, ensuring that you have the financial capability to take that transfer to the next level. That is what I think about. That is what I think about that transfer, and that's what I think that the way that Arsenal should go about it. So that is it for Mikel. If Arsenal want him, they should pay the asking price for the player in question. And the asking price is no other than 60-70 million euros from Real Sociedad. He is a very good asset for Real Sociedad. We saw him play last season. We saw what he did. Even at a certain point, Real Sociedad were we're in that top 4 area last season, just because of players like him and players like Zubimendi. So let's see how it goes. Let's see whether at the end of the day, everything we work out for good for Mikel Merino. And we also had that Arteta as the person engineering this deal. Arteta wants him. He wants him in the midfield. So Arsenal are looking for a striker. Possibly they will get Victor Gyokeres from Sporting Lisbon. They also need a midfielder and at least a left back that can replace Zinchenko as well. So they need that. But if they will spend that amount for Mikel Merino, I think it's gonna be a tall order. It's really gonna be a tall order for Arsenal. So let's see how it goes. It's not over for them until it is over, until we see the end of the transfer itself. So hopefully they get that deal sorted out. Hopefully they look for some cheap players elsewhere that can do the same work as Mikel can do as well. Mikel have similar characteristics with Manchester City midfielder Rodri. The same height, the same range of passes, the same number of tackles, the way they command the midfield, the way they take control of the midfield, the way they intercept ball, the duels, number of duels they win. They have the same identity, and I think it's a good one. It's a really good one for Arsenal if they can go for this guy, if they can get their man. But do they have that money? That's the question we need to ask. We have to ask all the time. Do they have that money? Do they have the money to command or to sign this player in question? So I think for me, they should be able to. They should be able to have that money. They should be able to have that cash, because I think for Arsenal as a team, they know what they want, especially with Edu out there. They know what they want and they know how to go about it. So let's hope and see at the end of the day if that deal can go through. We need more comment. We already have questions on the platform, so hopefully we hope that at the end of the day we'll come out with those questions when we come to our Q&A and have your say segment from Mikel to Sancho. Now, this news just came in just this morning that Manchester United wants to offer Sancho to Barcelona. But the question is that do Barcelona want Sancho? That is the question. We know what Barcelona are working on different deals up, different kind of deal up front. They are working on ensuring that if they can permanent Cancelo and Joao Felix deal, can they afford to spend £40 million on Jadon Sancho? That is the question. Can they afford to spend that amount, £40 million, which is the asking price, on Jadon Sancho? I think it's something. It's a question we need to answer. It's a question we need to answer as we continue to watch how it plays out in the transfer market. That question need to be answered. So I don't, and for me, I don't think United Barcelona can afford to spend £40 million because Barcelona are in deep shit. They are building a new stadium. They need money they also need money to consolidate in some of the transfers, like Joao Felix. His asking price has been set by Atletico Madrid. They need to settle what's his name, Joao Cancelo deal as well. They need to settle those deals. They need those deals sorted out. So I don't know, but we are where we are now currently, and Barcelona need to decide. United have given them the player. Will they sign him? Do they even really need that player? Do they need him? So that's the question that is left to be answered by Barcelona on Sancho. So our United need that money to finance other deals as well. So Borussia Dortmund cannot come up with £40 million. What else again? Those are the two clubs I know they've so far so good that are going in for Sancho: Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund. And the reason why United are offering Barcelona because Barcelona asked for that player. They asked for the availability of the player. They asked if they could sign that player, and the answer was yes. The player is available, and this is the asking price for the player. So let's see how the Sancho saga continues. Let's see when it will end, because for his United career, I think it has ended. We know that he doesn't have a career at United anymore. We also know that, to be frank, we also know that Erik ten Hag will continue as the coach of United, and ten Hag will not like to work with him. He wouldn't like to work with him. So let me know what you think about Sancho to Barcelona. Let me know the rationale behind United offering Sancho to Barcelona to buy for £40 million. I think there should be a rationale behind it. So that is that is how far we can go on the Sancho story. Then from Sancho, let's move on to Bruno Guimaraes. Newcastle Bruno Guimaraes release clause have expired. So for those that wants to buy him, I think that release clause have expired, and some other thing have to happen for this player to leave Newcastle. Newcastle will also know, because of the PRS rule, they also have to sell. They have players they can sell: Isaac, Anthony Gordon, Bruno Guimaraes. They have players they can sell. So let's see if they could really go into that transfer market and see if they can sell either of these players to ensure that they balance their book. Like I said, in the Premier League, it's all about balancing the books this time around. The books have to be balanced. If the books are not balanced, then you go nowhere. If the books are not balanced, then points will be deducted from you. We saw that happen with Everton last season. We saw also that happen with Nottingham Forest last season, and we are seeing charges against Manchester City as well. These are the true reflection of the moment that we are in now. You have to spend what you generate. You cannot spend what you don't generate. You have to spend. If you are spending 250 million pounds and you're generating 300 million pounds, that's fine and good. You can do that for players transfer, and that's what it is. You have to spend what you generate. That is the new rule, the new norm in the Premier League now. Okay, just quickly, there are also other news. Let me just read them out. Also, other news that I don't have on my slide, but from the angle of Everton have also done their first business as well. Lemar Diaye is set to join Everton from this summer. He'll be joining from Olympic Lyonnais. He'll be joining from Olympic Lyon. We don't really know what. I think it's an undisclosed fee. So hopefully, let's see. Congratulations to Diaye. Then also from I said update Zirkzee's transfer update. So for Zirkzee, it is straightforward. It is hit and run. Pay 34 million pounds. Agree a deal with the player. When I say agree a deal with the player, okay, agree personal terms with the player. Take the player home, and that is all for Zirkzee. But we're still waiting. Maybe because he's in the Euros, we are still waiting for Zirkzee and his representative to agree on personal terms, which I think will not be an issue. The club will handle that very well. But also, United also quickly have to sell Mason Greenwood to fund that transfer. Yes, they have to sell Mason Greenwood to fund the Zirkzee transfer, whether they like it or not. Mason Greenwood needs to be sold to fund the Zirkzee transfer. It's 34 million pounds. United need 40 million pounds for Greenwood as well, or 30 million pounds for Greenwood. Between that amount. So if they can get somebody to sign Greenwood, I think that would be a very good for 40 million pounds. That would be a coup for them. Greenwood is no longer welcome in United. I think we should agree with that. He's no longer welcome in United, and people don't want him in the team. They don't want him in the team, to be frank. Not the coach, not the United hierarchy, but some of the factions of the United fans don't really want him in the team because of what already happened 2 years ago between him and his girlfriend. The circles that was really happening. They don't really want him in that team. But this is football. If you're not needed, you have to move on. And Greenwood has to move on. He did well in the Getafe last time out. He played significantly well, create goals, score goals. Not that amount of goals that we know him to have scored for United, but it's a good one for him. He needs playing time. He needs to settle things. He has a family to cater for. So all this is around him. I pity for him sometimes, but sometimes you also have to watch it as a player. Still waiting for your questions, please. Just subscribe to Fancy Football, like I always say. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, so whenever we come live, because we'll be coming live in this transfer market, we'll be coming live every day as possible, apart from Sunday. So we'll be coming live as we could every day. So let's move on. So let's go back to the Q&A question about Osimhen. We have Mitchell. I bet he could see that Osimhen is just overrated. And no club wants to buy him for that ridiculous amount. Okay, no club wants to sign him, but I don't think he's overrated, to be frank. But I just think that the hype around him is too much. The hype needs to go down a little bit. We are seeing this England, the relationship between the press and the player in England. When you're doing well, they hype you. He doesn't want it, but I think why Napoli are putting that price, because he has led them to win the Scudetto. Yes, it didn't really happen. They didn't defend it. They didn't defend the title last season. They didn't even come close to defending the title. But at least he won the Scudetto for them, and he did significantly well for the team. the football fan zone. Okay, for the football fan zone, they asked this question. Hold on, let's see if we could pull it. They asked this question, and they said, "I have been saying this for a very long time. I am happy someone just point out the fact that uh, I see Osimhen staying at Napoli next season because no club is going to buy him for that price. Are we sure?" I also agree because the transfer market now, the way clubs go into the transfer market, they go in wisely with their pocket closed a little bit, uh, knowing fully well that they don't want to spend big, but they want to get the right players, the right position. Like I said, when we were talking about this, I said Osimhen, there are only a few clubs that can afford him. And when I mean by only a few clubs, I mean the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of PSG, Man City, Man United. These are, but they don't feature. He doesn't feature in their plans. Apart from PSG that needs to replace Mbappe, he doesn't feature in their plans. They need different caliber of player from Osimhen. That's what they need. For me, if you stay at Chelsea, if you stay at Napoli, time will tell. If Conte doesn't need his services, if Napoli cannot get €100 million plus buyer for him, then I think he's gonna stay. That's what I think. But at €100 million, only few clubs can afford that transfer. Only few clubs can afford that transfer. Currently now, £84 million, only few clubs can cover that money. Currently now, as I speak. So still more from the fan zone as well. Okay. Plus, he's overrated. People say injury prone, not good enough. Technically, he's zero. The only thing he has is his pace and physicality. And so, bro, think he is in his prime. He is Lewandowski prime, or he's prime Lewandowski. Someone needs to tell he is not. Okay, every player think of who is he, but when you say he's not, that's where the whole issue is now. But every player, like I always say, has a role model. Every player knows what he or she wants. So at the end of the day, so it left for Osimhen to think what he wants to think. If left for Osimhen to go where he wants to go, it's also left for Osimhen to see if he could get a better deal. He can decide to go to Saudi Arabia and make money, £100 million, £100 million. Saudi clubs can afford £100 million. He can decide to stay in Napoli and play the remaining and finish the remainder of his contract and go to other clubs as a free agent. So, but how old will he be at that time? So that's the question. How old will he be at that time? So, to the viewers out there, kindly like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, and help Fancy Football grow. Thank you so much for those that did subscribe yesterday, those that shared our video, those that like the channel. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you. So at this time, we'll continue to let's take more. If you have more questions, please, with regard to the transfer about your club, let me know. Share it with me. Send it on the comment section, and I will always read it out as soon as I see it. At this time, I would like to draw the curtain on the show. It's always 30 minutes, except if we have extended question that I will take. For those that are watching the playbacks, put in your question there. Like I always say, help us grow. Subscribe to Fancy Football. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Just take us there. Thank you so much for watching, and cheers as well.